What's going on, ladies and gents? Your favorite neighborhood sneaker reviewer is back with another performance review. Up today, we've got the KD9. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so I'm gonna start as usual with the inner, because like I always like to say, and it doesn't matter how good the rest of this area is. If there's something going on in here that makes the shoe uncomfortable to wear, it doesn't matter how good the fit, the traction, cushioning, all that good stuff is, you're not gonna wear it, so it won't matter anyway. So no issues here from an inner standpoint. I'm gonna zoom this around so you can see. It's fairly smooth to the touch here, so you don't have any issues. The seams, I don't know if you can see that there is some seams there, but they are flattened, they're not raised, and there's not anything, in that standpoint that's going to give you any type of problem. I want to say this is not really a issue per se, but as you can see, the tongue, and I'm going to get into this rather, but the tongue, as you can see, is integrated actually literally into the inner and the upper here, so it's not a separate entity like on other shoes. I wish I had an example here. Oh, yes I do, just to illustrate. Okay, excuse me. It's not a separate entity like say on this Jordan 3 here. Now, what that means is once you slip your foot in there like that, you don't have to pull anything. You got to lace that up. Now, I said all that to say that some people said they experienced some difficulty putting the shoe on. I really didn't. One, I don't have wide feet. Secondarily, if you use the tabs on the heel there, you won't really have that issue. I didn't have an issue getting the shoe on, but I did just want to touch on that real quick. But once you get the shoe on, the fit of this shoe is actually very good. I was kind of concerned initially with it having like the fly knit, how good the fit would be, but it's actually really, really good. Not to sound like a tech sheet or a sales sheet, but it really does fit like a very comfortable sock. And especially once you lace these jokers up, your feet just don't move anywhere. So once I got it in the shoe, I didn't have any issues with it moving this way, back here, front to back, or at the heel up and down there as well. I'm going to touch back on the heel momentarily. Just overall, your foot's locked down in place, especially once you get it laced in, like I said earlier. I was actually pretty happy. I was very impressed with that aspect of the shoe. Also, the break-in time is 0. You buy these, take them out of the box, they are ready to go. No break-in time whatsoever. The upper flex as well, all the way through. And I'm going to touch on that when I kind of get to the cushioning part. I do want to touch on that, an issue that I had with the predecessor that was addressed in spades on this shoe. But the shoe flexed very well. The Flywire did a good job of providing support, even on this lateral area. I noticed even on hard cuts, the upper worked in conjunction with the rest of the fit features to keep my shoe from sliding off the footbed, and that wasn't an issue here. Sliding back here, fit at the heel was very good, as I touched on a bit earlier. No heel slip whatsoever, in addition to the fit that it provides through the midfoot here. You've got, and I'll try to zoom in, hopefully you can see right there, intelligently padding there that really helps to make sure that area is locked down. And again, from a comfort standpoint, you've got padding here behind the tongue that keeps the laces from forming that pressure point. So now overall, man, the fit of the KD9 was on point. I was very happy with it. It works with your foot, not against your foot, and that's really what you want out of a basketball shoe. All right, moving down below here to your your cushioning here. Full length Zoom Air is what's providing your cushioning here. Now, the predecessor, again, the KD8 had the same thing. But if you will go back to that review, and one of the issues I had with that shoe was the fact that you could not, the effect, the cushioning feel of the Zoom Air unit was muted. It was like numb. You know, like you knew it was there, but you couldn't perceive it as much as you would have liked, or that you have on other shoes. I can tell you they really fixed that problem on this shoe. Now, granted, like I say, this is a really thick Zoom bag here, but the moment you put them on, you can feel the Zoom Air. You can get all of the responsiveness, the cushioning effects that you want from Zoom Air that we've come to expect, in addition to the impact protection. And it was just great out of the box, on the court, all the way around. Awesome. It's so good when the next progression in a signature line addresses weaknesses in the shoe and turns them into the strengths. And the cushioning feel, KD9 is an example of that. Additionally, again, I'm going to step back to the 8, and I would have pulled it out to show it, but they're just way too difficult to get to right now. But one of the issues I had was flexibility in the shoe, particularly through the midfoot. Now, which is sometimes when you have shoes with this type of setup, with a full-length Zoom bag, sometimes with a max bag, you sacrifice flexibility. And with the 8, it wasn't slappy, but it wasn't as flexible as you would have liked. The transitions weren't smooth, and it didn't roll through your foot strike as much as you would have liked. On this one, they address this issue. The flexibility is amazing right out of the box. It's almost like running shoe good. It's just that flexible, and it was noticeable the moment, not only just walking around casually, particularly when you got them out on the court. It really does feel like, from that standpoint, that the KD9 is a part of your foot. That's just how well it flexes. The transitions are great. It's not slappy. It is so doggone natural. I mean, I enjoyed playing in this shoe from a cushioning standpoint, and they're even great to wear casually. And it's a setup. The Zoom Air in here is robust. Even 4s. I think guys like, for instance, Nikola Mirotic. I'm sure you're probably not his size, so if he can get in them, and they can accommodate him, you can as well. But the cushioning, the flexibility is good as well. Let me step back up to the midsole and closing out real quick. It's a very stable shoe as well. Because, you know, sometimes with shoes, again, with this particular setup, with a full-length bag, stability can be an issue. It's not on this, and this shoe never had really a propensity to even want to tip over as well. So I know some people that may be off-put by the collar height, and stability may be a concern there. You don't have to worry about that with the KD8, but if that will assuage your concerns, you know, there are aftermarket ankle braces out there that you can get, but you won't need them, in my estimation, with the KD9. Okay, now we're moving down to the outsole here. So what you've got is, you know, it's not herringbone. It's like a hexagonal pattern throughout most of your outsole here. And I wasn't sure with this particular setup how it was, because I thought the cushioning on the 8 was, it was all right. This, again, they took the weaknesses or things that didn't do as well on this predecessor and turned it into strength. The traction on this shoe was really good. Now, the rubber does start off sticky. It does. And I actually intentionally played on a dusty court just to see how it would react. Rubber does stick to it, particularly starting off, and I found myself having to clean the outsole. But what impressed me was that even when the outsole did pick up dust and debris, there wasn't that big of a drop off in terms of the overall tractionability of the shoe. traction providing ability, which is rather high. It really does a tremendous job of sticking to the floor. I was very pleased with that. So again, from that standpoint, the outsole is ready to go out of the box. But again, if you play on a sticky court, you know what it is on that standpoint. Another thing that I liked in addition to the ability of the shoe to provide traction, was despite having this thick midsole, and I'm kind of backtracking, but I do want to, court feel on the KD9 is really good as well. You do feel fairly connected to the court, and I think that's not only couldn't get it out. Let me try that again. It's not only attributed to the natural feel underfoot. I think that's a real big factor in that, man. You really feel. I felt way more connected to the court feel in the 9 than I ever did in the 8, and that's huge. Considering you want that type of court feel, you don't want to feel too high off the court and things of that nature, particularly from a shoe design, from a perimeter player standpoint. So the traction was very good. Like I said, there's no break-in time. It's not super soft. I'm gonna zoom in here. I'm trying not to ramble on for too long here. As you can see, it is fairly flexible. Outdoor use, perhaps. This is not a super soft compound like, say, that was on like the KD9 or something along those lines. This is a little bit robust, more robust than that. So you could get some outdoor run on it, but my concern would be not even necessarily from the outsole, but the upper. I'm not sure if this Flyknit is necessarily tough enough to stand up to the rigors of outdoor basketball. In a pinch, if you had to play in them, a couple times, they would do long-term. Outdoor use, not so much. I did want to touch on that. But I said the traction on the KD9 was very, very good, very confident, inspiring, and a clear step up to that of its predecessor. All right. So in conclusion, it's been kind of a theme of this review. The KD9 is a shoe that took what the predecessor didn't do well and took it to another level and made it its strength. It already had the fit game down, so they just improved on that and made it even better on this one. The cushioning, the 8, it did its job, but it wasn't necessarily top notch in terms of your feel and your perception of it. They took care of that as well, providing an airbag that I feel that was a bit softer, easier to feel, just awesome all the way around. The midsole is soft to help with from a stability standpoint, but also aids in that cushioning as well. The shoe flexes much better than the 8. Transitions are better, and it provides a wonderfully natural feel underfoot. Moving down to the traction, it is great even on dusty surfaces. You won't be, Nancy Kerrigan ice skating all over the court because your shoe's not gripping. It is just tremendous, man. And this is a shoe I enjoyed playing in. And I always say, when you get the mark of a great shoe is when the review is done, you want to keep playing in the shoe. And this was the case with this shoe. If I didn't have other shoes to move on to, I might still be playing in this shoe. I still actually wear it a lot casually just because I just like the shoe that much. It's a wonderful performer. And though it's still the latest model, there are some places where you can get it, for a discounted price. And if you do, absolutely pull the trigger on it. It will not do you wrong. KD9, definitely on our recommend list. 1 through 4s, and I would even venture to say if you play the new style of 5, the perimeter style, then absolutely these will get you through as well. KD9 is an awesome shoe, and like I said, we recommend it. So with that being said, I don't want to ramble on too much longer. This concludes our review of the KD9. Be sure to head over to our website, sneakershoptalk.com, for a detailed article of these and other sneaker news and sports news there on the website. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Be sure to share. Tell a friend, and I'll be back with more videos real soon and things on the website. Peace.